Hey everyone, today we're going to be discussing jewelry hot takes, and that is your kind of emotionally charged opinion, maybe unpopular opinions about jewelry. We're going to get into it in just 1 second. Just really quick to point out the elephant in the room. Yes, there's a baby strapped on my chest. This is Finn. We are 3 weeks old now, and he's going to be hanging out with me during this video. And if you can hear him, sometimes he sings a little bit while he's sleeping, so I apologize in advance if you hear him in the background and that's annoying to you. It is what it is. This is my life right now. So back to the video. Here's what I did. I posted on the Jewelry Lovers Forum the question, what are your jewelry hot takes or unpopular opinions? Now, to be completely honest, I was expecting no responses, honestly. This question got over 500 answers, so we're obviously not going to go over all of them today. We're going to go over a few, see if you guys like this video or not, and then if you do, then we'll do more on a later video. But for today, we're going to cover a few of the top ones, so let's get started. All right, the top answer here is from a jeweler, supposedly. It says, jeweler for 50 years here, I think some of you spend way too much money on your engagement rings. Engagement rings and wedding bands should be meaningful to you for what they symbolize about your relationship, not in how much you spent and how that relates to your social peers. Hard agree. One day your rings will be a family heirloom. They should be thinking, look, you can see how much they loved each other, not, wow, how much do you think we can get for it? I mean, I absolutely agree with this opinion. I really think jewelry should reflect you. I do see a lot in this forum, people asking for everybody else's opinion on jewelry, and I don't think you should ever ask for an opinion unless you're like truly torn between two things. You really can't decide. But I don't think you should be asking other people's opinion on your jewelry. I think you should be picking things out, what you like. And yes, I do agree. There is like a whole stigma with engagement rings and diamond sizes and how it should be at least a carat and blah, blah, blah. I don't agree with that either. So yeah, I'm gonna agree. I'm gonna agree with this jeweler here about that. And if you're going to spend that much money on a diamond ring, like, custom rings exist too, guys. So maybe consider doing a custom ring that nobody else has. Might be kind of cool. Something to pass down. Definitely. And then also alternative gemstones. Maybe think about that too. If you're really just not into diamonds, which apparently a lot of people aren't, consider what else you can get, that might speak to you more and be more of a compliment to your style, if you will. All right, next. Oh, this kind of ties right in. There's nothing wrong with getting an engagement ring under a carat. 100% agree. My engagement ring was under a carat. It was a single solitaire diamond that was under a carat. I've gone on a rant about it before because it faced a very sad ending. It ended up in the garbage, and I never saw it again. Someone accidentally threw it away because I put it in a bag on my countertop, and either... well, I don't want point fingers. But somebody visiting who was trying to be nice and helping me clean up my kitchen tossed it in the garbage, and I didn't know that until like a week later after the garbage had been picked up. So it was a tension set ring. If you guys don't know what it is, it's just 2 prongs, and it holds the stone in by tension and not by like prongs all the way around. That diamond fell out like 2 or 3 times. But in any case, yeah, it's like the ring is the symbol of the engagement, of the relationship, of all of that, and it's just symbolic, okay? It doesn't even have to be a ring that you give each other. But if you really want a ring, it doesn't matter if it's a carat or not. It doesn't matter if it's a diamond or not. And if it is a diamond, it doesn't have to be a carat. Let it go, y'all. If you like it, you like it. All right, and just to read some of the comments here, we have piggybacking on this, the size of the stone should complement the size of your hand. I disagree with that too. I don't think so. If you like dainty jewelry and you have big hands, like, okay, who cares? Or vice versa. If you have tiny little slender fingers and you like a big chonker of a stone, power to you. I don't think it should have to match your hand. I think it should be what you like. Going back to my original point. OMG, I worked in New York City. I can't tell you how many unfitting rings I've seen. Big, halo, flashy. Meanwhile, the girl is always a small, petite woman. It was so sad to see practically endless budgets go towards gaudy-looking rings. Bigger and more is not always better. It actually makes a ring look fake and cheap, which was incredibly ironic. It also kind of turned me off to colorless diamond rings as a special ring. Don't agree. If she likes it, she likes it, and that's what matters. However, I will say to this point here that the larger your stone is, the more artificial the stone looks. And I do agree with that to a degree. Depends on your circle of friends, who you're hanging out with, because obviously if you have like a wealthy group of friends and big diamonds are kind of the norm, that's not going to seem weird. However, to the layperson, you're just walking around in public, they may assume it's fake, but who cares? What does that matter ultimately? Who cares if people think your diamond's fake? Honestly, that's probably better because then you're not a target for theft or something like that. I don't think it matters. If the person buying it likes it, that's what matters. Everybody else's opinion doesn't matter. Oh, and to that point, lab diamonds are changing the game for everything. I don't know how to feel about lab diamonds, honestly. I've heard both sides of the conversation on those, and I just don't know. Tell me in the description or the chat, whatever. What do they even call comment section? Wow, can you guys tell I'm not sleeping good these days? Lab diamonds, oh, they're just like, they're cheapening all diamonds across the board, which can be good, but can also kind of ruins the specialness of a diamond, I guess, in a way. I don't know how to feel about it, but I would love opinions on lab diamonds. Okay, big pet peeve of mine, designer jewelry that costs an arm and a leg, not made with precious metals or stones. I see so much high-end jewelry and it has CZs and crystals, pretty stones, but will not last. At least spring for some lab-grown stones, ... Listen, the heart wants what it wants, okay? If the heart wants some high-end costume jewelry, who are you to tell them not to do it? Because the thing of it is, some of that stuff will hold its value if value is your concern. But, you know, it depends on your motivation. If you're buying jewelry to hold a value, then buying something that's not in a precious metal is probably not the greatest idea. But if you just like it, you just like it. What are you going to do? Okay, person, I'm going to have to disagree just because you're contradicting yourself within the statement. You said, I see high-end jewelry, ... but will not last. Well, if it's high-end, typically that's stuff that does last. There's a lot of costume jewelry out there that stands the test of time. There's like Juliana pieces. There's even like the lower-end designer pieces like Monet, for example. I see a lot of older Monet pieces that are like pristine condition and they look like they're made of gold. They're not. But, you know, they're in great shape. Not to say that that's high-end. But my point is that costume jewelry without precious metal, without precious stones, can still definitely stand the test of time if you're just buying something for longevity and not necessarily a investment piece. All right. I love wearing silver and gold together and think it looks fab. Agree. I love mixing metals. I think everyone should mix metals. Why is there this whole thing where you can't wear both at the same time? There's a lot of pieces that have both metals in them. I see absolutely nothing wrong with it. I am on team mixed metals all day long. I agree. The only metal I'm not too crazy about is rose gold, but that's just because I don't think it looks good on me. It's not because I don't think people should wear it. Unplated white gold looks lovely, and no, you don't have to replate your white gold jewelry that often. I agree, actually, but this may be because I'm like a silver girly, first and foremost, before I'm anything else. Love my white golds. Love my yellow golds. Although that's a very recent thing. I didn't really like yellow gold until really the past year or two. Up until then, I was strictly silver and white gold. But I digress. I agree. I don't necessarily like rhodium plating on over white gold or over sterling. It looks too shiny. I like kind of the little dollar look to it. And I like the, like when you have a tarnished piece of silver, this is kind of my favorite. I love metalwork. And I love when it tarnishes down like in the details and then you can polish the top and it just has this contrast between like the nice polished surface and the tarnished or sometimes oxidized like details in it. I think it looks spectacular. Shiny, ultra shiny, like rhodium plated stuff just doesn't do it for me. I'm not a big platinum girly. I've never owned anything platinum though. I do hear that it's very lovely to wear. Feels really nice on the skin. But personally, it's not for me. I'm gonna have to agree. And I also don't totally mind, like they're saying, you don't have to get your yellow gold replated that often, or your white gold if it starts to get that little touch of yellow to it with time. I don't hate that either. I think it's kind of pretty. So I don't know. I'm agreeing with this person. This one hurts my heart a little bit. Wire wrap stones are so ugly. And look, oh my gosh, so many people hate them. I have got to find, there's this one person who does wire wrap jewelry that is absolutely exquisite and will change anybody's mind on wire wrap jewelry. If I can find a picture, I'll put it up on the screen. But they include like little beadwork in there, and the gemstones they use are like faceted high-end gemstones. Oh my gosh, they are amazing. I do agree that sometimes minimal wire wrapping on stones can look a little low end, if you will. But sometimes it's done really beautifully. So I don't know. I've tried my hand at it before. It's not as easy as it looks. But oh, it just, yeah. I wouldn't go as far as saying that they're so ugly. No. That hurts my heart. It hurts my heart for all my artisans out there wire wrapping stones, because they're not all ugly. Let's do like a couple more and then we'll shut it down. Hot take. Heirloom jewelry should not be altered, and especially engagement and wedding rings. Guilty. I mean, heirloom, like multiple generations, that's been a family tradition. Okay, so I agree. 100% agree, and I'll tell you exactly why. Because I altered a ring, and I regret it. Don't tell anybody. I regret it. So I inherited it, as I said earlier, I inherited a solitaire from my grandmother. It's from probably like maybe the 30s or 40s, give or take. Might even be a little younger than that, maybe more mid-century. But it kind of has like a deco feel on the shanks, and then it was just the stone in the center. And I saved up to get a new like setting for it, and that has pave stones set like all around the band. And then I had the diamond moved into that ring, and then I got a sapphire, a teal sapphire that I had set into the old ring. I love both sets, don't get me wrong, but I do feel a little regretful swapping the stone out of the old original setting. It was just a very pretty, very classic setting. And I also had it sized down a little bit because it was a little loose on my finger. It was always loose on my grandmother too. She was always messing with it because it was always flipping on her. And I do kind of regret it because for this reason, I just altered something that was, aged and beautiful as it was. And I do kind of regret it. I do, obviously I like my new ring as well. I kind of wish I had two stones somehow to keep one in the original and then just, get a stone in the second one. I guess I could put the sapphire in the other ring. I don't know. Even in my mind, I'm like, maybe one day I can just, switch them back again. Have the sapphire in the pave setting and then put the diamond back in the original, but I don't know. But I definitely agree. Finn says that was a poor decision you made, Mom. All right, last one. And then baby's getting a little fussy, so we're going to cut it off here. In my opinion, secondhand jewelry is always better than new jewelry. There's just a character to it that new jewelry doesn't have. Yes, I agree with that 1,000%. My favorite rings that I've seen are secondhand. Yeah, I agree. There's just like care that's been put into these older pieces. There's a uniqueness to them. There is a feel that goes along with a lot of these pieces that, is kind of tied to their design, to their age, to their past, to their history, to their story. I do love a good secondhand piece, that is for sure. And there's just two people who commented here. It says, same, my favorite things are almost always heirlooms or thrifted. And I love secondhand jewelry so much. Even my wedding ring is an estate piece I got from a seller on eBay. She has so many amazing things. That's pretty cool. I will say the only thing that I've gotten, now I'm thinking about it, like fresh made jewelry is from an artisan who makes it like in her shed, and it's beautiful. And I will sing her praises. I've mentioned her on my channel before. Her Etsy, well, her Instagram is Sacred Silver Official. She also has an Etsy page. I think it's under the same name. And she hand makes stuff. And I have multiple pieces from her because I just think it's amazing. Amazing artisan work. She works primarily with silver with 14 karat accents here and there. That is another story altogether. Buying handmade jewelry from artisans, very different experience from buying like chain store jewelry that is mass produced and more than one person owns it and blah blah blah. So I will say that. But in any case, that's it for this one. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Let me know in the comments what you agree or disagree with and what your own hot takes are. I would love to hear them. Love to hear your opinion about lab diamonds. All right. This little angel's going to be waking up soon, so I'm going to go take care of him. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you're not done hanging out, please consider clicking on the video that is on your screen right now. And that'll take you to another video on my channel, and we'll keep hanging out. And yeah, that's going to be it for this one, guys. Thanks so much for joining me today, and I hope to see you all in the next one. Bye.